Elias was always in a hurry. His life felt like a race where the finish line kept moving. That evening, the sky was a deep, molded violet as he sped down a quiet suburban street. He gripped the steering wheel of his shiny black car, thinking only about the clock ticking in his head and the dinner waiting at home. Suddenly, a loud thud echoed through the air. Elias felt the car shudder as something heavy struck the side door. He gasped, his eyes wide with shock. His beautiful, polished car, his pride and joy, had been hit. He slammed on the brakes, the tires leaving thick, black clay marks on the gray road. Elias threw open the door and stepped out, his face turning a bright, angry red. "Who did that?" he shouted, his voice echoing off the clay trees. He saw a young boy named Matteo standing by the curb. Matteo looked small and trembling, his hands empty, and his face streaked with tears. "I'm sorry," Matteo cried, his voice shaking like a leaf in the wind. "I didn't know what else to do. I've been waving for a long time, but no one would stop. Everyone was going too fast, and I couldn't make them see us." He wiped his eyes with a sleeve made of textured blue clay. Matteo pointed toward the edge of the sidewalk, where the shadows were growing long. "It's my brother," he whispered, his lip trembling. His wheelchair hit a bump and tipped over. He fell out, and I'm not strong enough to lift him back up. He's hurt, and I was so scared. Elias looked where the boy was pointing. There, lying on the cold ground next to a tipped-over wheelchair, was a younger boy named Luca. Luca's legs were tangled, and he was clutching his knee, trying very hard not to cry. The wheelchair, made of silver-painted clay, lay uselessly on its side. All the anger drained out of Elias. He felt a sudden, sharp pang of shame in his chest. He had been so worried about a dent in his car that he hadn't even noticed two children in trouble. He walked over to Luca and knelt down, his movements slow and gentle. "It's okay," Elias said softly. "I'm here now." With a careful, steady lift, Elias picked Luca up. The boy felt light in his arms, like a fragile treasure. Elias gently placed him back into the seat of the wheelchair, making sure he was comfortable and safe. He checked Luca's scraped knee and gave him a reassuring smile that reached his eyes. Matteo stepped forward and hugged his brother's shoulders. "Thank you," he said to Elias, his voice finally steady. "Thank you for stopping." Elias watched as the two brothers began to move down the sidewalk toward their home, the small wheels of the chair clicking softly on the clay path. Elias walked back to his car. He looked at the deep, jagged dent the brick had made in the shiny door. He could have fixed it, but he decided he never would. He wanted to keep that dent forever, a permanent reminder to slow down, to look around, and to never be too busy to see the people who might need a hand.